Season 2 of Hazbin Hotel was out. Yeah, I know. I was really torn on whether I was going to make a video on this. On the one hand, I swore I was never coming back to the series. On the other hand, Vaggie is my slave name. Henceforth, I shall be referred to as, Vagina? No, that's even worse. I'll have to workshop that one. It has a lot of stuff like that in it. On the other hand, at this point, I'm firmly convinced that the average age of the people watching this is 13. Do I really want to poop in their peanut butter? They'll just call it Reese's and gobble it up regardless. Then they'll call me a hater, before going off to sing Poison on the school bus. Something like that. Also, although what I saw was really comedically exploitable, in all honesty, it would probably get stale after a bit. At the end of the day, the issues with the series are the same as they were in Season 1. The pacing is still terrible, the morals are still incredibly superficial, and they still have the same awful tendency to just have a third party swoop in and resolve the conflict when convenient. How should we have Charlie deal with her new doubt and fear over redemption? I know, let's have the side character poof out of nowhere and just tell her she was right the whole time. Brilliant! Aw, yeah, we can go out to lunch early today, boss. Oh, and the fact that they're unironically making the comic relief villain from the last season the main antagonist is just, on the face of it, insane. There has, unsurprisingly, been zero improvement. And there really are only so many times I can say, that's stupid. That doesn't fix anything. The villain has a point here. A B-movie is fun to watch on its own, but there's a good reason why no one remembers the Tommy Y show. The same applies to my own content as well. In the end, I decided on a compromise. A much shorter video, which will cover the most ridiculous part of the episodes, and quite possibly the most ridiculous part of the series yet, which is really saying something. So don't worry, this is a quickie. You see, the first episode of the new season takes place about a month after Charlie and her friends fought off the Angels, essentially ending the extermination and saving Hell. Her hotel, intended for redemption, is bustling with activity. And I'm not exaggerating here, 70% of the episode is just the other demons saying that they want to kill Angels. Yep, despite getting their shit shoved in for presumably millennia, it took all of 1 month for them to decide that it's time for war. Do they even know why they lost? How are they even going to get up to heaven? Do they really think this is a good idea? Shut up, hater! This'll be great. I'm looking forward to getting in here and fucking up some angels. I love murder. I can't wait to kill some angels. Those are the first 3 lines we hear upon seeing the hotel, back to back, and it really doesn't get any better from there. The overlords fantasize about doing the same thing they were already doing, but this time to heaven too. Real creative, guys. And they laugh about how Charlie paved the way for their stupid plans. It's a dire situation, and I personally hope all of them are murdered horribly. Alas, 2 episodes were released, and the second is meant to run parallel to the first. In this episode, we follow Heaven's perspective, which is dealing with Sir Pentious apparently being redeemed. Predictably, most of Heaven breaks down at this point, deciding that the exterminations were wrong and it was such a tragedy and blah blah blah. Lute, upon hearing this, splutters in disbelief, telling everyone that the demons are a threat, and that they're gathering power for an uprising, that they feel emboldened now, and that she and the army of heaven have to go down and destroy them. The rest of the characters, and the show at large, treat her as being crazy for this. Oh, Lute's crazy. Lute just doesn't get it. Lute is evil. And you're left to just stare at the screen, wondering, are we just supposed to forget about the last episode? Yes. By and large, Lute is objectively correct here. The demons are a threat, they're clearly hostile, and there's really no reason to believe that they'd stop now. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that material reality is on her side, because the story has an agenda, and it's going to see that agenda through, goddammit. Reason be damned. It's like 1984. I'm sure we all read those books a while back and laughed at how ridiculous they were. No one's laughing now. Lute's even right about Sir Pentious. She says he doesn't deserve redemption. And, well, the fact of the matter is that he was trying to kill someone when he died. And that he was trying to kill people throughout presumably centuries in hell. And, lest we forget, he essentially forced himself on Cherry Bomb in his last few minutes, kissing her without consent in an act of borderline sexual assault. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, she was fine with it afterwards, but that's really not a good excuse for that kind of behavior. What do you think would happen if you tried that with your crush? Bear in mind, from his perspective at that point in the series, she had shown nothing but aggressive disinterest in him. But still, he acted with supreme presumption and seized her, before engaging in his ill-considered final assault. Lust. Pride. Is this the character of one who belongs in heaven?
I don't know about that, but I do know that the stupid God-not-God creature said he was good, so that means we're right and you're wrong. Bleh!
Ugh. And even looking past all of that, even if there are a few fringe cases where demons can improve, what? Does that mean you have to set yourself and all of heaven on fire for it? To put the lives of the innocents at risk for a very dubious, extreme minority? Because at this point, it's clear that they are the minority, and the majority are a problem that's not going away on its own. Demons can kill angels in this setting. They're gearing up for war. How many of your brethren must die for this false principle of abnegation? More than 0, I bet. Sarah herself privately acknowledges that Lute's right, but it doesn't matter. She is bound by the stupidity of the moment and hamstrung by needless guilt. The first episode proves she was right. The demons are evil, and the exterminations were valid. But because she succumbs to weakness, this shit will probably go on way longer than it should. And it sucks. And yes, probably more of the demons will change later in the story due to some arbitrary bullshit. Like, they'll get their shit shoved in, and then cynically and self-interestedly decide, maybe redemption is not so bad after all. Like literal children, something like that. And that'll be treated as a valid excuse, while those that aren't satisfied get done like Trotsky. It's tough out there, kids. I think we all know that. But sometimes, it's all too easy to forget. I feel bad for Lute. Because not only did she lose her arm and her partner, but now she has to deal with these fuckheads gaslighting her about reality. How can good hope to stand in the face of such intransigent stupidity? A riddle for the ages. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know they're probably going to reduce her to a blatant caricature of evil going forward, but still, she's going through a lot. And despite what some people say, not all of it is her fault. She's trapped in a system of deliberate ignorance, a system whose god writes at the level of a Wattpad author. That can't be easy. Hang in there, Lute. I know it's tough. Hang in there. And it really makes you think, too. Because there is no way that the average adult working on this show doesn't read this and think, oh my god, this is so fucking dumb. But of course, they can't say that. So instead, they just shut up, say the fucking lines, collect their paychecks, and try to enjoy the stupidity in their own way, while things just get worse and worse and worse. But hey, them's the breaks. Material reality doesn't matter in the face of society. The Emperor has no clothes, and you shall call him God. Social commentary from a bit higher up on the food chain. Only those at the top are afforded true freedom, you understand. By the way, here's my guess as to how this arc with Lute is going to play out. Adam is going to come back as a demon from hell, maybe in the finale of Season 2. Like, maybe in the last few seconds of the season, he'll wake up in hell and say, "What the fuck?" before we cut to black. And Lute will learn that he's alive, but as a demon, oh no's, total drama island. How will her racism cope with that? She'll pull a Dick Cheney and fall to hell herself. But rather than seeking redemption, Adam will decide,
I think I like hell.
And the viewer will be left to wonder, what is this green eggs and ham bullshit? Then the two will go to war with Charlie, not for any ideological reasons, but just because they don't like her. And then they will fight until the larger villain of the story steps on them both. The end. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I hope they do something a little more interesting than that. And I'll give them credit if they do. But I think the shallowness of that prediction is commensurate with the rest of the series. And if it's even partially correct, go fuck yourself. You spoiled it in the pilot, you putz! No cap, faux rizzle, whatever your desired terminology is. Well, sadly I'm not omniscient, and time is a flat circle. All we can do is strive to break it like a disc. Farewell.